Hello, hello! Welcome to episode 94 of the Lorethrough. We are continuing with Volcano Manor. I thought this zone and all of its associated parts would be a little smaller, to tell the truth. I feel like it's gone on a little long, at least in terms of recording, because there's all the Volcano Manor stuff, there's the side area with Jar Baron, just all the associated content. There's a lot going on here. And it seems also at the same time an area you can completely circumvent on your main storyline if you're just playing through the game and just head straight for Lanedell. We could be in Lanedell right now. We could have finished Lanedell by now. Maybe. Or maybe we'd be getting to the end of Lanedell had we decided to go that way. But I believe this will serve a nice purpose. Going through this area, I mean. Lots of smug snails made of fire. Now, find a golden rune. There's dudes throwing pots at us. Very rude. We can jump onto this rooftop, though, and go make short work of him. And grab whatever he's stealing. Also, if you may not have noticed earlier, I was able to get on that roof across from me because there's a weird slope behind it that you can just run up. That's a good place to get to if you need to buy time during an invasion, by the way, since the enemies here aren't too helpful. What's this side area? There's the stone sword key that I intentionally didn't grab from before. I do need to cross this liquid lava lake. I don't think there's much over there, but you can jump down from above. This is an option. Let's see here. I think we will go up and get the bridge first, and then come back to the lower area. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We'll do exactly that. We get the volcanic stone. So he was wielding one of those candelabra things that do the lava twisties, but his was darkened. Is worth noting. Okay. So there's an elevator here that goes down, and an elevator here that goes up. Let's be exploring this one that goes up. Ooh, ouch. But he doesn't stand much of a chance. An easily accessed Blackfire Monk. I think he drops his kit. He might even drop his mace. So over here there is a lower cliff that you can jump off of. The safe place to jump off of is actually about where this item is. Maybe a little closer. I would recommend a soft cotton or the silver cat ring. Because it will do damage. You can survive it, but it will do damage. And that leads to the lower area where we fought the bats and the abductor virgin. This cliff right here. It goes into that series of catacombs. I pointed out the little out point in a previous episode that it pops out of after some bats. Or into some bats, rather. But now we can head up here. And we will go in there and deal with what's there. But we'll just look at it for a moment. More serpents and an even bigger one in the back. And a more grand-looking church. Interesting. There's lion icons here. Huh. What's that thing around the base? Are those serpents? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to bump the mic. It was the edge of my headset, actually, because I was leaning forward and squinting. You can imagine that if you'd like. Oh, I hope that's not too loud. Maybe I'll dub over it. But here we have the grand mechanism for the bridge. Kind of interesting that it turns a lot, stops, and then continues turning very slowly. Maybe it was just getting up to the point of tension, but here it pulls up this great iron bridge that's been soaking under the lava. Because the lava is crappy, it hasn't lost form in a substantial way, yet there's still some molten cages at the bottom of it. Those cages must also be made out of relatively good metal if the cool lava, the lava that's not as hot as it ought to be. I love that concept. It's so funny to me. It still burns you, but it's like, it should burn more. So now we have a shortcut from the prison town church side of Grace all the way to the end of this little area. Oh, there's a golden fog over there. That's a sneak peek of what's in there, but we're going to head down. Down, down, down. might drink one of these, actually. Because there's something I would like to use. I want to see how well it works. Depraved Perfumer Carman, if you didn't understand what I was referring to. He is both man and car. Okay. He's coming in here. So over there, under the bridge, was the area I was referring to previously, where I said that you could jump off a cliff over there and end up in this area. So you could go from the Abductor Virgin place where it pops you out and end up getting to the rest of the place, but you have to suffer a little bit of fall damage. But we want to bring our friend Carman around and deal with the threat that's over here. Don't you know? It's a magma worm. Ooh. Ouch. His lava hurts way more out than the lava on the ground, which is kind of funny. Let me go! Oh, he's just charging over and over. That's such a bother. Nope, missed completely. Probably going to start going into phase 2. There it is. Ooh, but the poise damage is hard to pass up. Can I even get to his head? Maybe not reasonably. Oh. And we'll give him one more pop. We get a Dragon Heart. And Carman did his duty. Carman didn't take a whole lot of damage. He was surprisingly tanky. Or he didn't get hit much. I wasn't paying that much attention. But we get another Dragon Heart. Now we can explore the other portion of this Volcano Manor. A large level 7 smithing stone. How many of that size have we found thus far? Oh, like 9 of them. But we have only 1/8, so. We can pop out over here. Over there is the center of the Volcano Manor sunken town. Trying to find the way to the little area I saw before. I don't remember exactly how to get to it. I don't go to it very often. You're almost never there in PvP. People are there so seldom. Okay, so it's that little area over there. So I think what I can do is I can hop off over here. There we are. And I need a bonk, I believe. It kind of disgruntles me that the Rune's Greatsword does standard pierce damage when I need big old bonk damage. But I digress. Great hammer, great hammer. Oh, good. The 2 bonks. So there's a lot of standard smith. There's a grave here. There's graves all over the place, rather. There's a coffin here, right? Just want to know if there's anything over here. I don't remember anything specifically. I think this is a way back up to this where the Omen Killer was in the center of that town square. The one that we dunked on with the Axe Talisman and the pizza cutter. Ooh. I was just trying to buff my weapons. There we go. Smoldering Shield. Any more enemies in the area? No, let's look at the Smoldering Shield. Oh, we never looked at the Albinauric Staff. Golly. Short staff with a blue glintstone embedded, wielded by the Albinaurics of old. So the little wizened old Albinaurics. They wielded these things. The Albinaurics harbor a secret. They cast sorcery using their innate arcaneness. Which is such a silly sentence. But yeah, it has good scaling with Arcane, a little bit of scaling in Int. If you want to have most of your points in Arcane and have just enough intelligence to wield your spells, this is the pick for you. Then you could run like the Ripple Halberd or something. Slather up with Sleep Grease. Once somebody slept with the Sleep Halberd, rail on them with like Carrion Slicer and your Albinauric Staff. And the damage output will be scary. Because Carrion Slicer, the little short range spell, this bad boy, doesn't do hardly any poise damage, but it can do good damage if you have enough points in scaling. Meaning you can hit somebody who's asleep multiple times before they wake up. Like, sometimes 2 or even 3 times. Which is a scary way to finish off somebody, especially if you're just getting ghost hits with the Ripple Halberd, because they're dodging well enough. And then you get free damage. It's just such a mean setup. Smoldering Shield. There it is. Small shield made upon Mount Gelmir, forged from uncooling lava. Resists frosts with its heat, and it can even be used to deal fire damage if wielded as a weapon. It doesn't do a lot, but it does something. I wonder if it makes a good shield breaker, though. Kind of like the Tree Sentinel Draconic Shield is a good shield breaker. I think what it means, it resists frost. I think it gives you a little more of the attribute that extends the frost meter. Unfortunately, it's not warm enough to, like, dispel the frosty effect or something. Interesting that they don't wake up. Okay, so this is the little place you'd get to if you had made the jump for the Stone Sword Key. I didn't bother. It's just a Stone Sword Key. You're not missing out. Okay, so now we're going to the Prison Town Church. And we are going to do the boss fight. There we go. What do I want to bring with me? This feels like a fun pick. Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds like lots of fun. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds like a grand idea. Okay. And we still light roll. Good. Can I put on my small shield still, actually? I can. Wow. I guess they're not the heaviest of stuff, but... I usually don't wear this light of armor on my characters. I wear the heaviest I can. So, this light of armor. Still wearing the scaled gloves and legs. Goodness me. Okay, so let's do this boss fight. We can summon Carman. Drink a flask. Okay, so he is poisoned. Okay, he is asleep. Oh, there's the frost proc. And there's the bleed proc. Oh my gosh. And a heavy attack breaks his posture. Oh, that was so clean. Oh, we didn't need to perfume our Carman. He got in the way. Oh, that was a good setup for him. And the Godskin Stitcher. A wonderful weapon. And noble presence. The noble presence incantation. And if you saw, this elevator lowered after the boss fight. Alright, so we'll grab the grace. Let's read some descriptions. Always more descriptions. Alright. Elegant piercing sword with a celadon-colored blade. Wielded by Godskin nobles. The nobles possess skill with the sword unmatched by any lowborn. Despite its size, successive attacks from this weapon are swifter than the eye can follow. And it is a heavy thrusting sword. Our third, to be precise. We found the Great Epee, which we still have. There's the Bloody Helix that we got in Central Altus Plateau. And now here in Mount Gelmir, we get the Godskin Stitcher. This is a favorite amongst those in the PvP community. It just seems to be a heavier hitting version of the Great Epee. Its heavy attack is a thrust as opposed to a slash, like we're used to on the Great Epee. So that is a key difference. The damage is similar. So it's not too bad if you use one over the other. You can get this sucker a lot sooner. I like the way the Godskin Stitcher looks, personally. I like how slender it is, comparatively. I don't know, it's just a huge rapier, honestly. It's a very silly idea for a weapon class. But I digress. Alright, and Noble Presence, before I forget. Ancient power of the Godskin nobles. Thrust out belly with gusto to produce a shockwave that knocks back nearby foes. Charging enhances potency, knocking enemies into the air. Once a sign of the god's wrath, this incantation became a trophy of the noble god's hunt. So it makes me wonder if this is a corruption of Wrath of Gold. Produces a golden shockwave that knocks back nearby foes. Charging increases the size of the shockwave. This incantation was discovered when the Elden Ring was shattered, and it was feared as a sign of the Erdtree's wrath. Where's rejection? Do we have rejection? Where do you get the rejection? There it is. Rejection. Heart tarnished. If you truly walk in faith, you must be prepared to reject all else. I kind of want to make a build that uses this sucker. I don't know when it would be useful, but I liked knocking people over in the previous Souls games. I feel like there's more cliffs to knock people off over. Alright, so coming back to this. This is not a statue. You can actually look at its mouth a little bit there and see the lighting being a little odd. It's because it's hollow. In fact, from the back it becomes much more apparent. This is not a snake statue. This is a snake skin set up as an effigy. It's actually kind of corrupting whatever this chapel was originally meant for, though. Maybe not, actually. I just realized there's big snake statues all about the place, so not so much. This place is referred to as the Temple of Igle, right? And what's interesting about Igle, specifically, the term Igle, is, let's see, in Baltic mythology, right, there is a story of a snake queen. There was an ordinary woman who was tricked into marrying a snake prince and bearing his children. She ended up killing her husband and turning herself and her children into trees, and her name was Igle. I think spelled E-G-L-E, as opposed to E-G-L-A-Y. There seems to be some sort of connection between the Godskin cult, right, and the snake cult, and even the fire giant cult, though only if sparsely because of the way that the Blackfire monks defected from keeping the Flame of Ruin protected to serving the Godskins, right? The Godslayer talisman uses obsidian, right? And I think we can look at the Godslayer talisman in my item box here. There it is. Sacred seal of the Godskin Apostles, inlaid with obsidian, said to represent the manipulation of black flame. This catalyst enhances Godslayer incantations, also very heretical. Kind of fits together a little bit. But obsidian is a volcanic glass, right? Mount Gelmir is a volcano. Or rather, Mount Gelmir houses the Volcano Manor, which is built on a volcano, right? So it seems likely that the obsidian used in the Godslayer talismans was sourced in Mount Gelmir somewhere. A few of the flame monks have defected to using the black flame of the Godskin nobles, as we can see. So there seems to be a connection there. And it changes their incantations as well. They use the black flame, just like the Godskin Apostle and the Godskin Noble, of which we have fought 2 apostles and 1 noble, I believe. So, and now let's finally pick up this item that's been waiting for us. Serpents mignon. Filet mignon. No, don't eat it. Ugh, 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 gross. Alright, let's take a look at this key item. Amnion from the mother's womb, which cradled the poor, unwanted offspring of a repellent birthing ritual. It will never dry out, remaining damp indefinitely. Yeesh. Kinda gross, honestly. Kinda nasty. I just realized that we also had 2 more death roots that I never gave to Garank. So I guess now's the time to go on a little trip. We will go tell Raya of what we have found, since we have found a little bit of the secret and some of the serpents. The Amnion, if I'm even saying that right. The Amnion. Yeah, it's related to snakes and reptiles, if I recall. So let's find her and speak to her about what we have found.
The serpent that lurked in the shadows that night. It entered the room, perhaps, if you discover...
Tell her of the dark side of Volcano Manor.
Really? Oh, So there was a secret after all. Oh my. Lady Tanith, my own mother, has deceived me. Was I not born by the grace of a king?
Okay, we won't give her the Amnion yet. In fact, I want to talk to Tanith and see if she has anything to say after we have disclosed the dark secret.
If you follow this, it cannot...
Zarias' troubles.
She said that. To you, I should have known something was wrong. The signs were clear enough. Well, Zarias has placed her trust in you. All the more reason I must tell you that some things are better left unknown. Besides, no one should be blamed for their heritage. Think about it. We are resisting the ways of the Erd Tree itself. What matters one's lineage in such a crisis? Zarias has placed her trust in you. That some...
Okay, so that's all she has to say to us for now. Get these out of the way. Big, long weapons.
Lady Tanith, was I not born by the
And now we can give her the Amnion.
What is this? I remember this scent distinctly. Funny, isn't it? I am certain of it. I was born inside this. It's a part of my birth, Mother. You have my gratitude. Thanks to you, I am no longer afraid. I want to know how I was born and met Lady Tanith. One day, I hope to call her mother once again. This time from the bottom of my heart.
So this speaks to Zarias' purity as well as resilience. She wants to call Tanith mother. That even though she knows she's been deceived and perhaps betrayed a little bit, she still seeks that relationship they once had.
I want to know one day.
Okay. See if we can talk to Lady Tanith again if she says anything extra.
Zarias has placed her trust in you. All the more reason I must tell you that some things are better left unknown. Besides, no one should be blamed for their heritage.
Okay. Let's rezone. And oh boy, what was the other thing I was thinking about? Oh no, there was something else I thought I might need to do away from Volcano Manor. Oh god. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Oh well. Let's talk with Lady Tanith again.
If you follow, it cannot...
Zarias' absence? No. Oh, she must be gone out of the other room.
I haven't seen Zarias anywhere, and she has no scouting duties now. Has she gone off in search of answers? Why won't she just listen? May I ask your aid? Not as the manor's proprietress, but as Zarias' mother. If she discovers the answer to her question, and it causes distress, have her drink this potion to purge that which would cause her pain.
Knowledge, because it's a tonic of forgetfulness.
Yes, I know. My wish is a grave disrespect to her. No different than the Erd Tree's imposition. But I've no choice. It must be done. My wish is a grave... But I've no...
Alright. And sure enough, if we look for Zarias, she is gone. I wonder what the other thing was that I was supposed to go do. I felt like it was a quest related. Oh dear, that's going to bother me. Well, let's speak with Patches. He might have something to comment on their family troubles.
Hello again. Steve, try to find it in your...
Nope, he does not. Okay. Golly, what was it? It's going to make me feel bad. Oh well. I suppose let's continue with Volcano Manor for a little bit. Maybe we can make it to the next checkpoint or Grace. Honestly, I'd like to finish it, because honestly, well, we're not going to finish it, because we need to go slay Juno Hoslow, and if we go to the end of this zone and complete the dungeon without doing that, we will have a bad time. So up here, this is very reminiscent to me of Pontiff Sullivan's kind of cathedral. in Dark Souls 3, where he had elevators after the boss fight, and you could go up this area and look at everything, the architecture. Non-specific floral patterns again. Red wax candles. A high-level golden rune. Except for in that upper area, I believe there was, in Dark Souls 3, a twinkling titanite lizard. A small one. And a mimic. And the mimics in that game grew arms and legs and would just deck you. They would also munch on you if you opened the treasure chest before they were aggroed, but you had to fight them even if you knew it was a mimic. Okay. So we can hop off the balcony, because that's what we do. All of Volcano Manor feels like you're just kind of working your way through a place that is not well organized anymore. Let's run past all this stuff. Give me that. Come on. Another full-calling finger remedy. Not that necessary. But yeah, we're seeing the lava pool down below. We're still well within Volcano Manor, so we're not seeing it pool anywhere that we've seen before. I was wondering if we would ever get to the area where we could see Alexander, but he was all the way over here, and we're on the opposite side of Volcano Manor, even facing the wrong way, so. Okay. There's all this pool of lava, and I don't think there's a darn thing out there, which is kind of a shame. I would have hidden something out there. I don't remember there being anything out there. I don't feel like looking either. There we go. Oh, lightning is so useful for them. Very, very helpful. Honestly, we'd be doing a lot more damage with this darn thing if I had just decided to be a strength or a quality build, but I digress. We'll come back to that one. So there is a ladder over here, a very lengthy ladder. Goes into one of the lower pits of this sanctum. Drawstring fire grease. And we find more Albinurics here, suffering immensely. There we go. And in this dire pit, after slaying a few pitiful Albinurics, we find Missionary Cookbook number 6. Alright, a record of crafting techniques left by a man who, unable to become a finger maiden, instead became a missionary and went forth to spread holy teachings. Holy proof dried liver. Those dried livers can be helpful in PvE. They give you like a 10%, I could be wrong on that one, like a 10% resistance to the element of their choice, right? In PvP, it's like 5%, which is really sad. Not that noticeable. I mean, it's something, but kind of pitiful. You're better off eating some boiled crab and reducing the physical part of any element you're dealing with, assuming it's a weapon with infusion. Oh, I should probably let him show off his grab. Do a big old fire attack. That's kind of neat. I want you to do your grab. Come on. I need to show it off. He's doing the fire attack again. We'll look at his weapon since we grabbed one earlier. Yeah, its drop rate is abysmal, by the way. Come on, grab me. There it is. Haha! Does a lot of poison, and it's a toss. Kind of neat, huh? There we go. Thank you for showing that off for our dear viewer. Alright, let's take a look at his weapon. Curved sword with a blade fashioned from the lava of Mount Gelmir. An armament of the man-serpents impossible for a human to have made. Deals fire damage. So it is a strength faith weapon, mostly strength. And I believe the magma whip to oppose it is a dex faith weapon that probably leans toward dex. So it's a neat little option. has magma shower, which I don't know if I can show these off in any capacity, but I will try. So the magma whip yeah, you can just kind of keep doing this. And this would spill magma all over the place if I had the stats for it. And then it has a follow-up hit when you let go of the ability. And then Magma Shower is Spinning Slash, but it would spill magma all over the place. Which is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good little curved sword. Kind of goofy looking, honestly. Like, look at those spikes curling up in your hand, so if you were to reach further down the handle, you poke yourself. Not the best design I've ever seen. I don't even know what to use at this point. Alright. We saw a guy getting really upset over here. See him? Oh, he grabbed me from a jump. Did you see that? I should probably shut it off. Ugh, spooky. Alright. Alright, so if we head over here, we can lower this elevator. And this elevator is a neat little shortcut. A shortcut where to, you may ask? Why, it goes into the Temple of Igle. Again. There we are. Ta-da! So, we have an alternate way forward. And on our way up the elevator, if we watch carefully, there is an opening we will see. And I botched it, killing myself. Oh, how unfortunate. I want my money back. This episode, I should probably cut it, but we don't have much left of Volcano Manor, so I think we'll go a little long and just deal with it. And me relying on Godric Rune like an addict. Given I've artificially limited myself and not spending all my money I could on level ups, even though I have spent a good amount recently, yeah, just not leveling up more, so those extra 5 points in every area so I can show off more stuff is very nice. So I guess wait a little longer than I did and then go for the roll. There is a commoner here, naked, that you can put down. Stone sword key. You can hear a beetle, actually. Here's the beetle. Get yourself a level 5 somber smith and stone. There are some lizards hanging out here. Yeah. We'll head over here first, actually. And here is Zarias. We found her.
Oh. It's you. I'm afraid there is something I must tell you. I was an unwanted child. Born not of grace, but of a hideous ritual. Something that can never be accepted. Not by men, nor serpents. Even Lady Tanith shouldn't accept me. I know that you have done so much for me, but I wish to ask one last kindness. Kill me, please. I thought that I feared nothing. But this, free me from this accursed frame.
So she wants us to kill her. Lady Tanith would have us give her the tonic of forgetfulness. But we are better than those two options. We are not going to give it. We are Sieghelm. Sieghelm the Foreman. And we don't kill Raya.
I know that you have, but I wish to kill me. I thought free me.
And we have the option again. So we're not going to give her the tonic, nor are we going to kill her. She's going to lament for a little bit. We'll come back there. I think if we head over here, there's a thing we can grab. I meant to go farther than that. There's serpents that will follow us. There's basilisks in here. Very rude basilisks. But we get our smithing stone and we save the day. And by the day, I mean our own skin. Kind of funny. I don't know. I don't like fighting all those basilisks in that tight space. They're not worth that much money. You just kind of want the somber stone. You want to leave. So what are we at now? We have like 6 of those suckers. Nice. Alright, and so up here, this is where that one Albinert grabbed us. There's these nobles that are poisoned, and they kind of explode if you kill them. I should show it off. And that can poison you, that little puff. On one of these serpent heads is an item I wish to grab. It's not this one, excuse me, good sir. Just give him the old backstab. Is it this serpent statue? It is. Okay, so this one, near the end, you can grab a commoner's headband. So it's much like the headband that you can get at the start of the game from any old commoner. I don't have the regular version. You can farm it off of enemies, basic commoners. But this is the version of it that comes with a little hood. Or a little cowl, I suppose. Okay, so this is funny. Looking at this specific serpent, he's got a puffed up neck, and he's wearing some jewelry. Could be a she, we don't know. And it's got a lit up candlestick. So we'll let it do its thing for a moment. So it does the spin, and it slings lava all over the place. Yeah, we let it do its thing after we put it down in the dirt. Okay, so we come back, and we're in a furnished part of Volcano Manor again. It feels like it's been a little bit. More of these paintings are about. And here we have a whole slew of commoners. And we have 2 serpents, and then there's a third one at the top that has, it looks like his head is still in an egg. I was thinking that serpents like this, like snakes, had soft heads. That was a little bit silly, wasn't it? There we go. Oh, we got another man serpent shield. Good. And this enemy up here is wearing a red cape and has a staff. They even cast spells. Ooh, that was a bigger bolt. But yeah, their head's stuck in a shell, but they're wearing a robe, which is kind of funny. Like, he is our hero, he is our leader, the one who can't get the egg off his head. Give him a cape. And he was using a Mount Gelmir staff. Let's take a look. Staff with a forked tip embedded with red glintstones enhances lava sorceries. The man-serpents of Mount Gelmir draw from faith in addition to intelligence to enhance the potency of their sorceries. And sure enough, it has equal scaling with int and faith, so this is an option for those hybrid builds. That's a little hard to get to. There's I think a better staff that does the same thing that's also kind of hard to get to, but probably better to rush than this one. Unless you're specifically using lava sorceries, then go for it. And here, we could use this to sneak to, well, a later area. Yeah, we'll let this be for now. But this would sneak us a little farther along to a boss fight we're not going to deal with yet. I'm not even going to walk in there in case it ruins something. I don't think it will, but that's essentially where we would get to the end boss of Volcano Manor. And we're not going to do it. We're going to wait till we've killed Juno Hoslow first. So we're going to continue with this little portion. And that last part of Volcano Manor will have to wait, which sucks because I kind of want the weapon that's in there. I wonder if I could safely grab it and then just leave the fight, but I'm not going to risk it. Alright, so coming in here, we have a bunch of cages and a jump challenge. But we're not going to do the jump challenge because that's the easy option. We're going to do this, the secret side path. Because we get more rewards. Why not? Do I have anything that's good at sweeps? We could try this. So we have a serpent over here and an albinuric on the stairs. Come here, buddy. Ooh. Dealt with him promptly. Okay. And while we are up here, we can go around and grab the critical hit talisman. Let's take a look at that. Talisman depicting a dagger and a surgeon. Kind of looks like Vare, honestly. And the Misericord dagger. The white-garbed field surgeons come to aid friend and foe alike by dealing a final deadly thrust to spare them of the prolonged agony of a mortal wound. A sense of mercy is a catalyst for blood loss. So, not a very good surgeon if you're just killing your patient outright. Friend and foe patient alike. There's a guy over here. This guy normally shoots at you while you're doing the normal jump challenge. So, going this side path is much better because you can take him out before he's ever an issue. But we can hop down these. We can jump to this pillar over here. I think if we're smart about it, we can decide to land on this cage. Sure enough. Pull you guys. Maybe pull you guys. Just keeps roaring, doesn't he? Ah, very nice. I don't like that room, so. And in here we find a body. I believe our first of its kind. Which is kind of spooky, honestly. But we see this fellow in a chair. And he has a bloody little towel over his lap. He has an item on him. He looks like a noble. He's got this spool of blood around him. And it looks like he was tied to the chair. And we find Seedbed Curse. Why we'd pick it up? I don't know why. It looks like a massive horn's flesh. Really gross. Really, really gross. But we'll take a look at the key item anyway. Oh, we never looked at the Tonic of Forgetfulness. A small brass vial. Banishes distress and bitter memories. A gift bestowed by Rykard, sworn to blasphemy to Lady Tanith, who unfortunately had no use for it. My lord, there could be no greater distress than to forget you. So it seems he gave it to her, so maybe she could live a different life apart from his blasphemies. Interesting little relationship note there. Alright, but the Seedbed Curse. A curse grown on a corpse killed and defiled by the Dung Eater. Oh, we've been warned about him. A tender pox afflicts with omen horns. The Dung Eater cultivates the Seedbed Curse upon a corpse. Gross. By doing so, he prevents dead souls from returning to the Erd Tree, leaving them forever cursed. One of the most loathsome things found in all the lands between. And sure enough, it's covered with those curling, ribbed horns that we find on Omen, who are also separated from the Erd Tree's grace. There is a set of stairs up there. We will be going up there shortly. Because that, I believe, is the real end for our ventures here in Volcano Manor. More of those banners of the Great Tree. I don't think they are depicting the Erd Tree, honestly. Yeah, even the relief at the top of the door has changed a smidge. In here, here's another painting of Rykard. Interestingly enough. Here we find a body. Royal Knight's Resolve. Makes me wonder if that's a skill of one of the Gelmir Knights. It's like Determination, but better. I don't know what the numbers are for it now. But when the game first released, Determination is the action where you buff your weapon, it turns white, and if you hit something in the next 8 seconds, that hit will do 60% bonus damage, or it did, right? And Royal Knight's Resolve was the better version of that, dealing 80% bonus damage. I believe they've nerfed it in the more recent patch, I believe, probably 1.09. And look, we're back in Volcano Manor proper.
Hello again. Steam right.
He has nothing to say. Let's speak with Tanith. I'm curious to know if she has anything to say, since we found Raya but did not give her the forgetfulness tonic.
If you cannot...
Nope, we can't tell her about it. Okay. Well, we will quickly go down that last final path and end the episode there. But Royal Knight's Resolve is a great pick. I like throwing it on the Anchor. Big, piercing, heavy weapon. Or you can throw it on like a Zweihander or something. And the reason for that is that Royal Knight's Resolve, even though they've nerfed its damage, it still does a lot of stamina damage. So you could use it with a charged attack or a good heavy jump. And you can break someone's posture. So up here we have this Abductor Virgin. We're gonna take care of it real fast. Oh, so close. There we go. Oh, lightning's so helpful. And here we can grab that item that we saw shortly after the Prison Town Church. It is a level 7 Somber Smithing Stone, which is one of the larger ones that we found. So, if you're ever doing PvP, and you have nothing to help you out, if you hang out in this little upper area right before the bridge, you can actually get the Abductor Virgin to aggro, and it can throw its arms, its chain arms with its big old guillotine blades on it, and it can actually hit your host and his phantoms. So you can still get a little aid here, or when you're down below. You won't have an invasion proper up here. I believe this counts as a solo area. There was a fog wall we had to go past with the Stone Sword Key. But yeah, so that's it for Volcano Manor. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry the episode was a little long. Unfortunately, the very crowning piece of Volcano Manor will have to wait because we have a quest line to do. I would love to go grab the item that's in that's at the very front of the boss room, but we can't. Oh, I would love to have that weapon, but we're gonna have to wait for a while, unfortunately, because I'm stingy. But hey, Afterthought Gunch is here. I thought I would point out one more thing before I went. Two more things, actually. First off, here's this chair I walked right by after we fought the caster serpent with the egg on his head. And I would like to kindly point out that it is not a wooden chair like we saw at the end of Stormvale Castle with its Erdtree relief picture on it of the Jesse tree, right? It's something else by the looks of it. So, different culture likely made this tree. Maybe Rykard had it. Maybe Rykard sat here at some point. It is a large chair, so maybe Rykard was a big man. I mean, honestly, like, if we're standing on the base of this platform, we're barely taller than where his rump would sit. So, big guy. To be fair, Radon was a big guy. Who knows how big Ronnie would have been before she cast away her body like that, you know? But I also did a little looking up, and it is safe for me to hop in here. So we're going to hop in there. We're not going to go too far, just a sneak peek, so let's stay quiet and clandestine for this one. But there is a little room here, and there is a fog wall, right? In fact, I should grab the Grace. It's still sparkling. But normally you get brought here at the end of the quest line after you've killed Juno Hoslow. Right? And I'll show that off later, don't worry. But we can enter in here. In fact, yeah, the fog wall's still there, right? But we see this big serpenty mass. It looks like it's got these huge wounds on it. Just these gaping wounds, and there's a hilarious amount of bodies all over the place. There's even chandeliers and these spikes all over the place. There's all these serpents, ash things. Look at all these things. At least I think they're serpents. I'm trying to figure out what these little curvy bits are. Yeah. I assume they're some sort of serpent bit. They're engulfing all these bodies that have looked like they've been scourged with fire or lava until they have frozen in place. But here we can find the Serpent Hunter, which I really like. Let's read its description, huh? Weapon that serves as both greatsword and spear, kind of reminiscent of the Dragon Slayer sword spear from Dark Souls 1 and 3. I don't know if you... yeah, 1 and 3. Thought to have been used to hunt an immortal great serpent in the distant past, it manifests a long blade of light when facing such a creature. When their master's heroic aspirations degenerate into mere greed, his men search for a weapon with which they might halt their lord. And it has B scaling strength despite being unupgraded, and it has 0 requirements, so any build can use this, and sure enough, this is the weapon you want to use for the fight. Does this big old wind thing. I'm doing it in a safe direction here, right? So there's the crouch poke, the jumping poke, regular poke, heavy slice, and the Ash of War, which is a big 2-hitter. It's an okay weapon, for all intents and purposes. Great strength scaling, honestly, though. But the best part about it is this crouch poke. Now, it doesn't do the wind effect when you're outside of this boss room specifically. Another funny thing to point out is if we put a lance in our offhand, a heavy lance, we get 2. It just seems to be a bug. It actually does multiply your damage, so if you want to fight the boss, put a lance in your offhand and you'll do very well. But we will fight this boss at a later point. Because if you quit the game, and I don't know if I've ever shown this off. I should have, but I don't think I have. If you ever quit the game and then reload the game, while you're in a boss room, I mean specifically, then you will find yourself safely outside the boss room. And look, there's the fog wall coming in full view, and it hides the serpent monster from us, but we have ourselves the serpent hunter now. So meaning we can take this sucker to Lane Dell and use it, because that'll be next on the docket. We are heading to Lane Dell, doggone it, and that'll be next time's episode. So thank you for joining me in this little aside. I hope you have a good one. And we have to wait for this loading screen before I can wave goodbye to you. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. One last thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't help it. I'm too excited. So this is a Saint's Bridge. A small one, but a Saint's Bridge nonetheless. Different in architecture from the rest of Lane Dell. You can tell by the stone. It just looks different. It's a different color. It's a different shape. It's from a different style. And if we work our way into Lane Dell just a smidge, not even very far at all, we see reliefs. We see these suckers. Remember I was talking about the banners of the Great Tree, right? And if we go up here... oh boy, I'm just too excited. So we see banners of the Great Tree, right? And we saw some of them in Volcano Manor. We've seen some in Stormvale, right? If we continue this way, through all these storage chambers, we find some magic grease just on a dude. We have these tree reliefs and these fancy doors as we get into Lane Dell proper, or get closer. But this is still of an older style. We see a body here. More of these reliefs. Furl-Calling Finger Remedy. A little chapel. A very nice chandelier. More tree reliefs on the doors. And then we get in here to Lane Dell proper. You can see the Erd Tree. We're pretty close. We're used to looking at it from the Divine Bridge over here. But now we are on the opposite side over here. And if we can look carefully, we see these banners. This is the Erd Tree banner we're used to seeing. It's different from those red banners with the narrow Great Tree on it. And we even see the Crucible Prophet. Honestly, I think it's the Dynas Prophet in a different form, but he's got a branching tree and a kind of a warped face now that I think about it. Alright, well, that's a little much. Next time, this will be a great little teaser for Lane Dell. I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about in Lane Dell. It's going to be a great episode, so make sure you show up for that. I hope you have a good one, and bye-bye. We'll tune back into proper continuity, Gunches. See ya.
Hey!
Gee. But thank you for joining me for episode 94, and we'll see you next time for episode 95. Have a good one, and bye-bye.
Hey!